Hello and welcome. Today I'm doing kind of a hybrid video. It's going to be a review of a few new products. I have the new Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette that I'm going to be using. I'm also going to be using the new Victoria Beckham liner in the shade Sea Gray on my eyes. And I also have the new Chantecaille Perle de Lumière highlighter. That's part of their holiday collection. So I'm going to be using and reviewing all three of those new products. But the reason that I wanted to combine all of these products together is actually because this whole look is inspired by my Lisa Eldridge ring. This is the Betty ring, and I'll tell you just a little bit more about it as I get into the video. But I had all these new products that had come in recently. I wanted to use them and I wanted a way to tie them all together. And I figured that to base the whole look around this ring would really make sense for all of these products. So if you'd like to see my thoughts behind this look, as well as my demos and reviews of all these products, just keep on watching. Okay, so I'm gonna start first with putting a little bit of a base on my eyes using the new Victoria Beckham Sea Gray liner. This will be my first time using this liner. Here's what it looks like. It looks a little bit darker than I was expecting. And here's what the color looks like. It almost does have a little bit of a green to it. So I can see how they're calling it a sea gray. But it's a beautiful metallic silver color, almost like a pewter. And I'm actually happy that it has a bit more depth than I was expecting. So I'm going to start out with just kind of drawing this along my lash line and a little bit out there. And then I'm just going to take my soft shader from Sonia G and just kind of blend it out. I just want this to be a little bit of a base. I may use it as a proper liner later on after I've got all my shadows on and so on. But for now, I just want to get a nice base of that color on there, just to kind of start the eyes off. In addition to loving these Victoria Beckham liners as liners, I love to treat them as kind of cream shadows as well. So that's kind of why I'm using it as a base here, is treating it more as a cream shadow. You could just go like that and that would be a beautiful, simple look as well. So that's what it looks like all on its own. But now I want to build an eye look on top of that, and I'm going to be using the new Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. The packaging of this is gorgeous. You can see that iridescent effect there, and it has, definitely looks like rose quartz, and it has this gold kind of filigree effect as well. It's really beautiful, and the palette is gorgeous too. I was on the fence about getting this, but I decided that I really like these colors and I was very drawn to this palette, and I think it's going to be the perfect one for this Betty inspired look today. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with the eyes today, so I thought I'd start out first by just going through the ring and how it's described and what it's made of. So I actually bought this for myself close to a year ago. This was my 30th birthday present to myself, and I just wanted to show you the packaging and everything. So this is the cardboard box that it came in, and then when you open that up, inside you have this faux suede ring box, and it also comes with this little card with the Lisa Eldridge logo, and it says "Love Lisa" on the back of it, which is very, very nice little touch. So then here is the ring box. It has the logo on the top as well. And then when you open it up, they all have these different colored little puffs in there that are inspired by vintage makeup powder puffs. And then you have the ring sitting right in there. So I have the cushion cut Betty ring, and I have it with the sterling silver as opposed to the gold. And this is what it looks like. And this is going to be the inspiration for the look today. So the stone here is called lavender quartz, and it's actually a type of rose quartz. So I thought that the rose quartz palette would be perfect. I'm gonna put this on now. And if we look here in the rose quartz palette, it feels like they've also taken inspiration from lavender quartz. You can see these more silvery lavender colors, and I think that also having these sort of cool toned pinks in here is really nice because it reflects the packaging that the ring itself came in. So I think it's all gonna tie together really nicely. And the ring, it's called the Betty, of course, and Lisa named it after her cat Betty, and Betty is a beautiful gray, sort of lilac gray color. So I love that inspiration. I love that Lisa's a cat person too. And this I just thought was the most unusual and kind of beautifully nuanced color, and the one that just appealed to me the most out of Lisa's rings. I did go back and forth among a few of the rings, but ultimately decided that this was the one that I was first drawn to and that I was most drawn to, so it was the best choice for me. And you've probably, if you've seen other videos of mine, you've probably seen me wear it in quite a lot of them. So let's now get into the eyes again. And I think I'll start with this Radiate shade. It's kind of a neutral mauve tone. And I'm just going to use my classic crease to blend that through the crease. And then I'm gonna take my mini booster, and I think what I'll do is dot among all three of these shades here in this corner and just kind of create a little bit of shadow, but I just don't want it to be too deep, so that's why I'm mixing them all. And I want to have a little bit of that pinkish mauve tone in there. I think actually I'm gonna go for a bit of a halo eye. I kind of want it to be shimmery all over, but still in that halo shape. So I'm gonna take my Wayne Goss 07 brush, and I'm gonna, again, go among those three same shades that I just put in the outer corner. Draw those into the inner corner as well. And then even though it's a halo eye, this is a look based on a ring named after a cat. So I have to have a little bit of a cat eye shape. So I'm just gonna use this darkest shade right here. It's called Mantra. And just create a little bit of a cat eye wing there as well. Next, I really feel like this Cosmic Love shade here, this kind of marbled shade, is going to be perfect. I don't know if you can see the shift there. Shifts to a bit of a cool pink tone. I think this is going to be great on top of those darker shadows. So I'm just taking it on my finger. Just kind of patting it, blending it on top there. Same on the inner portion of the eye. Probably gonna need to go in with a brush there actually. So I'm taking my Wayne Goss 06 into that color, and that's just gonna help me to get into that smaller area that my finger can't quite get to. All right, now that we have that shade on there, I'm ready to go into the center of the lid. And I actually want to pull a bit more of the pink tone in there. So I'm going to take this shimmery pink right here, which is called Joy. And again, using my soft shader brush from Sonia G, I'm going to place this right in the center of the lid, making sure it blends around the edges of that darker color. And pulling it all the way up, pretty much right to the brow bone actually. And I'm not doing it quite straight up the center. I'm kind of angling it a little bit outward. Just prefer the shape that gives my eye. And I think that it will work better for the slightly cat eye inspired look that I'm going for here. Okay, and now I really want to pull this Moon Magic color in, because this, I think, is the most quintessentially Betty-like color. You can see the shifts, you can see that pink there, and then the silver, gray. I think that's the best kind of direct representation of the Betty ring. I'm gonna take that on my flat definer brush from Sonia G. It's actually quite a flaky shade. I don't know if you can see that there. And I'm going to pull it right up the center. I don't want to spread it everywhere that I have that pink shade, but I want it right in the center of it. Straight through all the way up to the brow bone as well. And then right in the middle of the lid, I want it to be a little bit more over that area. So I'm just kind of pulling it out almost like in a little bit of a circle right in that portion of the lid. This one is very flaky though, so you have to be careful if you want to try and avoid fallout with this one. But a little bit goes a long way with this as well. It's a beautiful, beautiful shade. And I want that shade on my inner corner too, so I'm going back with my Wayne Goss 07. Pulling that into the inner corner. Blending down to the inner quarter of my lower lash line. You may be able to see I have some fallout from that shade on my face. I'm just going to leave it there. It's a light color, so it doesn't show up as like a shadow or look really dirty on the skin. It just looks like a little bit of glitter. And I think it's okay for this look. And now for the lower lash line, I want to pull in more of those pinks, I think. So I'm going to start with this pale pink. Probably won't show up much, but it's just going to give me something to work on. And now into this other pink matte, which is called Happiness. I like how that kind of reflects the color of that pink shimmer that I used on the lid. Now I'm going to go into this Energized shade. This is a really interesting shade. It's kind of like a warm silver. It has beautiful, intense shine on it. And I'm using my flat definer brush again, and I'm putting that right in the center of the lower lash line to emphasize that halo shape. I kind of want to downplay how blue this is looking right here. That's from that Cosmic Love shade. It's just pulling the blue shift a lot stronger there. I'm going to go back into Moon Magic, which has more pink in it. And I'm just going to pull that over top of that a little bit, just to kind of try and see if I can de-emphasize that blue. It doesn't really seem to be de-emphasizing the blue much, maybe making it look a little bit more silver. A little bit more appropriate than the blue, given that the ring is set into silver. Okay. Okay, now what I'm going to do is finish up my eyes. So I'm going to use my Victoria Beckham Ash liner, which is a deep gray. I'm going to use that on my upper waterline. And then I'm going to try using the sea gray as a proper liner above the lash line. And I'll put some mascara on, and then I'll be back to show you the final eye look and to finish up the rest of this whole look. Okay, the eyes are all finished. And before I move on, I just wanted to show a quick comparison between the two Victoria Beckham liners that I used. This is the ash one, so you can see that's just a matte and it's a deeper gray color. And this is sea gray, which has that shimmer and is a lighter kind of silvery pewter tone. Now I do already have a little bit of cream bronzer and contour on, but I'm just gonna top that up a little bit. And I'm using my Salt New York today. This is the contour shade, or it's now called Taupe, and the light bronze shade. And I like to just mix those together on my brush. I'm using the classic base brush from Sonia G for this. And I just kind of stamp it onto the face. This has been my go-to bronzer contour combo lately. I just love how natural it looks on the skin. I love these two tones mixed together. It kind of creates the perfect color for me. I find it never looks too harsh. It looks really natural. The cream formula is incredible. And it adds that little bit of contour and shadow that I love to have as well. And for blush, I'm going to use a cream as well, also a Salt New York. And I'm going to use this lilac shade right here. This was part of their spring duo. And I've seen they've actually just brought this duo back into stock. It was the lilac and tangerine, which is a beautiful bright orange color. But I'm using the lilac for this look today. I think it's the perfect tone for this look. And I'm using the same brush that I just used for the bronzer and contour. I just wiped it off on a microfiber towel. And now I'm using the same kind of method of just kind of combination of patting and blending and buffing that cream into the skin. You can see all the details of what I used for my base today listed below as always. I used a sponge to apply my foundation today, so I'm just taking that and just kind of patting it over to make sure all of that's really blended in perfectly. And then I can take my brush and just top off that blush a little bit. Okay, and now into the highlighter, which I've been eagerly awaiting. This finally came to the Bay in Canada, so I ordered it from the Hudson's Bay Company online. This is the Perle de Lumière highlighter from Chantecaille, and that's what it looks like. It's a beautiful, cool, kind of iridescent pink. And I've seen this described as a balm powder hybrid or something, I think. To me, it just feels like a powder highlighter. It doesn't feel especially creamy or balmy. But I think the color is beautiful. Obviously, the packaging is gorgeous, and the embossment in the powder is beautiful as well. And I thought this would go perfectly with the Betty ring too. So you can see this gives more of a subtle glow to the skin. It's not one of those really blingy highlighters, which I appreciate because I found myself gravitating more and more toward cream and liquid highlighters lately, just because they have that more natural look. And I haven't been loving the, you know, real blingy look that you get from a lot of powder highlighters lately. Although I don't think this really looks like a cream highlighter. It has a similar effect in that it can be a lot more subtle and natural looking on the skin. It gives a beautiful kind of ethereal glow. It's kind of similar to the Clé de Peau highlighters in that sense. Although it's a powder, it's a very natural looking powder and quite a bit more forgiving, I think, on the skin than a lot of other powder highlighters. So that's what the cheeks are looking like. And now all that's left is to do the lips, and I have a number of different options here for the lips. I really don't know what to choose, so I think what I'll do is just swatch them all, and then I'll show you, and then I'll decide from looking at the swatches which I think is going to work best. Here are the many lip colors that I'm trying to choose from. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hot Lips 2 lipstick in Dance Floor Princess. Chantecaille Sweet Pea lipstick. This is a Chantecaille lip veil in the shade Plumeria. And then here I have the Hermes Rose Tamisé lipstick. This is MAC lipstick in the shade Snob. This is the Fenty Gloss Bomb in the shade Mauve Wives. It's the cream gloss bomb. And then this one, last one here, is the Lisa Eldridge Delilah lip gloss. So they're all kind of purpley, pinky, cool toned shades. Just looking at them all lined up here, I'm kind of feeling drawn toward the Chantecaille Plumeria shade because it's a little bit more toned down than some of these shades and perhaps a little bit more balanced, but it still has those mauve tones that I'm kind of looking for. So I'm gonna try that one first and we'll see how this looks. So there's Plumeria on the lips. I like it. I think it has a little bit more of a subdued quality, which I appreciate, but I want it toned down even a little bit more. So I'm gonna try putting this Fenty cream on top. You can see this cream has a lot more gray in it. All right, so I like that lip combo, and I think that now I've finished this look. So here is the completed Betty inspired look. So I just want to round up my thoughts quickly on the new products that I tried. I really love this new Huda palette. I think it's beautiful. I think the colors are really inspiring and I can't wait to play with it more. I could see how you could create more intricate looks, kind of like I did today, or you could get really beautiful, simple looks with just one or two of these shades all over the lid. So I'm really excited to play with this more. And I'm very happy to have these tones. Some of these are not tones that I feel I have already in my collection, like these cooler mid-tone pinks. I don't think I really have those anywhere else in my collection. I'm just now being drawn to this shade right here. It looks so beautiful. It's like an iridescent nude shade. I can't wait to get that one on my lids too. So I think it's a beautiful palette. I think if you are drawn to these colors that you'd be happy with it. I think the quality is excellent. I did get a little bit of fallout with some of those more glittery kind of flaky shades, but if that's a real problem for you, you can always do your eyes first, then clean up the face and do the rest of your makeup. But I'm really happy with this look today, and I think that that palette had the perfect tones to represent this ring as well. Chantecaille highlight I think is beautiful. You can see that glow there, and it doesn't seem to be emphasizing texture at all on my skin. There's no glitter or shimmer particles that I'm really picking up. It's just a really nice smooth effect on the skin, and I think the tone is beautiful. I really like that kind of cool iridescent pink, and the packaging and the embossment in the powder itself do make this a very special little product. And lastly, the Victoria Beckham Sea Gray liner. I think this is beautiful. I think it's a wonderful addition to the line. I'm still hoping for a green liner from Victoria Beckham, but until then, I'm very happy with all of the shades that I have, and I think that the Sea Gray is a beautiful addition and I think perfect for the holiday season as well. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching me create this look inspired by my Lisa Eldridge ring, and I hope that the little reviews were helpful as well. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to see those below, and if you'd like to see more from me and you haven't subscribed to my channel already, I'd really love for you to do so. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in my next video.